Hey everyone. So Cricket Fanatics is back again to bring you the daily show. So happy to sit in front of you. So excited. Missed you all. So let's start talking about what the show is going to be about. So the nominations for the Cricket South African Awards have been announced. All the nominees have been announced. And we're going to be talking about the different people that got nominated in the female and the men's category, as well as the domestic section as well. And we're going to just be talking about some of the snubs as well, some of the guys that missed out, some of the guys that were selected that we maybe thought shouldn't be there, and some of the guys that we think are deserving to be there. And we will give you all the nominations, the main nominations at least. You're going to have to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all the proper updates. When you want to see the entire list of everybody in every single category, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all that updates. We will just be giving you the main nominations and then some of the noticeable mentions in the domestic nominees. So here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the Daily Show. So happy to be back with you guys, seeing Aditya, seeing Mpho. How's it, guys? How are you guys doing? Been a long time. You guys missed us.
It's been a while. It's good to be back chatting cricket again.
Yeah, of course. We know that the nominations came out now, so we're obviously going to be talking about that. But obviously, we'll maybe dabble in a few other pots as well there, Mpho. Anything lately in the news that you've seen, maybe that's interesting before we get into the nomination lists?
Anything in the news that's interesting?
Yeah, from a South African point of view, at least.
Well, the South African women's emerging team is beating Zimbabwe quite handsomely over the past week. So good thing. We're just obviously waiting for that squad to go into training camp, the men's squad to go into training camp and prepare for the West Indies, and we'll see about that. And obviously the IPL's moving to the UK somehow, if the news reports are correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aditya, you'll have more insight on that.
So the BCCI prefers the UAE as the venue, but they seem to be quite close to confirming that September-October window, September 15th to October 15th. But we don't have a lot of clarity on that, because the ECB said that they haven't received a request from the BCCI regarding a potential schedule change for the test series, whereas officials from the BCCI are saying that they contacted the ECB to potentially change the schedule of the test matches. So I don't know what's going on there, but there will be that second phase of the IPL will take place. I think it's like $450 million on the line, and they're not going to want to let that go. So
hectic, and the conditions over there, though, it's going to be tough to play T20 cricket over there.
Yeah.
It's not going to be at least we're going to see more seam come in play than spinners are going to have to work hard. So all of those teams that bought like 4 or 5 spinners, good luck.
Yeah, and then obviously the PSL as well, they're looking to move to the UAE, so that's going to be quite interesting to see. They had an auction today, didn't they, or yesterday?
They had a revised draft.
So it's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, guys, let's get into the nominations. Of course, I want to go with that and to skim through some of them. And some big calls were made, and obviously some deserved nominations. Of course, we are going to have to say that, of course. But I mean, let's start with the men's nominations. We've seen Andrich Nokia is leading the charts over here with the most amount of nominations, which is a massive step for him in the right direction. I mean, it's someone that before KG, the likes of KG and the likes of Quinton used to dominate these awards. It's good to see someone new on this list, and good to see people on this list other than KG and Quinton that are actually dominating these awards with a lot of nominations. Anrich Nokia over here, One Day International Cricketer of the Year, as well as Test Cricketer of the Year. Delivery of the Year, of course, we're going to have to guess which one that one is. SA Fans Player of the Year as well, and SA Men's Cricket of the Year, which is the big prize, which I'm very, very excited about. I think Anrich, this is a massive step for him in the right direction. Aiden Markram, funnily enough, getting nominated for the T20 International Cricket of the Year. One of those guys on that list, which quite surprised me, because before he wouldn't have been in the talking with regards to the T20 squad. And a lot of people would have said, no, maybe Aiden shouldn't be even being mentioned in the squad in the first, but now he's getting nominated for an award of the year. Test Cricket of the Year, I can understand. He's been possibly one of the best batsmen in that South African side. But Men's Cricket of the Year is quite a surprising one, because I don't think that Aiden's been so dominant across all formats, I would say. But based on these nominations, he is. Then we've got Temba over here, Test Cricket of the Year only, and SA Cricketer of the Year. So the way they do the SA Cricketer of the Year, I have to maybe I must try to understand how they actually nominate that person for the SA Men's Cricketer of the Year, because my understanding was if they've dominated in more than one format, standing out as one of the top players in that format, as well as I'm not sure if obviously it has nothing to do with domestic cricket. That's when you get nominated to be the Men's Cricketer of the Year. We got Mpho and Aditya also forming similarly to Aiden Markram, falling in the same categories. And then there's an addition of that the jury must still be out on, and that's the SA Men's Players Player of the Year, which is something that the players vote for. So basically, this is what we got right now when it comes to the men's side. Any surprises for you there, Mpho and Aditya? Or are you quite happy with the nominations that were selected?
Well, I think that across the thing there would be a few surprises. Like, for instance, T20 International Player of the Year. One of the guys who kind of you could say, let me just look. Somebody missed out. Oh yeah, a lot of the domestic guys are missing out. But like, if I look at the four guys they've named, they're the guys that have played well for the Proteas throughout the year. If you look at the Test cricket, Temba averages 50 in the period under review. In the last year, he averages 50 runs. Aiden averages 56 in Test cricket. Rassie van der Dussen, Rassie averages, I think, over 60.
Yeah, it's obviously taken over this year. You're talking about this season.
And then if you look at all their performances across the three formats, and from a runs perspective, the Men's Cricket of the Year went they went the number one run scorer with the highest average. It's Rassie van der Dussen. He scored 616 runs. It's an average of 68. Then you have Aiden second, that averaging Aiden averaged 48. And then Temba was third with 413 runs, averaging 37 across all three formats. And then Anrich Nokia had an incredible season. He took 28 wickets this season. If you think about it, in Test cricket, he took 14 in Test cricket, and the next best he took 20 in Test cricket over the period. The next best guys had 10, and that was Vian Mulder, Luto Supamla, and Keshav Maharaj in cricket. So it is a massive shift, but I do think this is Rassie's awards to win all of it across pretty much any format that he's been nominated in. Rassie's run rampant. I think for me, it's between Anrich Nokia and Rassie van der Dussen for the guy who clean sweeps, because we've watched previously KG clean sweep, we've watched QDK clean sweep. I think this is Rassie van der Dussen's year. He's been very good for the Proteas across all three formats. He's done an incredible job at that, and he's the only guy to score a century in ODI cricket this year. This calendar year that they're under review. I'm happy for other guys like Yadaman Malan and Lizard Williams, who also got nominations for newcomer. I think Yadaman also was named T20 Cricket of the Year, and then obviously Tabraiz Shamsi also nominated as in that T20 Cricket of the Year. So in that category, it goes down to either Rassie van der Dussen or Tabraiz Shamsi. Rassi's numbers: 220 runs in T20 cricket, an average of 111, strike rate of 153. That says winner to me. And then Tabraiz Shamsi, 14 wickets at an economy of 7.23. The year that he was the number one bowler in T20 cricket. So I think I'm happy with those. I don't think the guys you could leave out, because I think it wasn't a great season for a lot of guys. The only guy not in the list is Faf du Plessis for Test cricket, because I think that 199 really put him in good stead. But that Pakistan series was really bad in, so it kind of balances out. Whereas I think consistent performers in Alga, Aiden, Temba, and Anuch Nokia were rewarded for their performances.
Aditya, are you surprised maybe that a guy like Rassie van der Dussen, that he didn't form part of that Test Cricket of the Year category, which a lot of people would have said that he's probably one of our best Test batsmen this year. Were you surprised maybe that he didn't get a nomination for that category?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought, as Mpho indicated, the statistics support the fact that he's been excellent in all three formats of the game, and I thought he did deserve. And I think most notably, it's just consistency across formats that has really stood out, and he's been one of the shining lights for the South African team in a season that has largely been mixed bag, or perhaps has offered more potential for reflection as opposed to joy because of the victories that South Africa might have achieved. And so I was a bit surprised. But in saying that, I'm very happy for Andrew Nokia, and it's good to see some new names being recognized there. Because as Mpho said, that KG has clean swept the awards at times. I think the year before that, Faf had dominated the awards, and Quinton de Kock obviously has been a favorite there as well. So very good to see some new names on there too. But yeah, Rassie, standout player for sure.
Yeah, let's go on to the women's nominations. Before we give we can give a quick indication of who we think will win the international awards. But let's just go through the women's awards, which I think rightly so. Shibnam Ismail dominating it. Also nominated for 6 awards, basically everything that she could possibly be nominated for. And I think that's well deserved. I mean, she's been excellent. She's obviously arguably the best seamer in the world at the moment. So very dangerous, very good. And the way she's been with the team, the way she's carried the team sometimes in difficult times. I mean, she's been excellent for the Proteas, Momentum Proteas. And actually, I think that she deserves to win it, because I mean, for so many years, she's lost out to the likes of Dana Fanike and the likes of other players for that Women's Cricketer of the Year award. So it would be nice to see her win that award. It's something that I really think that she deserves. Then we got Lazar Lee, we've got Sune Lewis and Laura Wolfart. They obviously dominating it, and rightly so. Sune Lewis stepping up as a captain this season in the absence of Dana Fanike, and Laura Wolfart consistently every single year she's been nominated for something. So she's obviously good. She's one of the world's best. So I think that in this particular category, there's not too many, I would say, snubbed players really. What is your thoughts on this one, Mpho? I think generally speaking, I'm very happy with all the nominations on this list.
Look, yes, I think those are the major ones, but there's some interesting ones that I think you didn't mention. Tasman Brits has had an incredible T20 series with Pakistan. Yes, she didn't
definitely.
Because her father passed away, but she scored 118 runs in 2 innings, which is obviously the Pakistan T20 series, and she struck the ball at 100 and a strike rate of 105. The other one that you didn't name was Annika Bosch. She's there as an all-round option. She scored 81 runs and took 3 wickets in the T20s that they played throughout the period. I think outside of Shabnim, who looks like the front runner to take that T20 Women's Cricket of the Year, Tasman Brits has a massive shot, and I think it's high time everybody kind of recognizes how great a force she is at the top of the order. I know her and Lazal Lee at times find a way to run each other out, but they do need to play together because they're really good. And then from an ODI cricketer's perspective, I think I know in the comment section they mentioned Lara Goodall. I think she should have gotten the KFC performance, streetwise performance, because I think her innings in India, that one massive innings in India that she had, was really, really good. And I think being nominated for a streetwise award would have helped. I think from a numbers perspective, I don't think she would have made it in because you got Lizelle Lee, who scored 384 runs at an average of 76. Laura Volfart scored 279 runs at an average of 35. And Shabnim taking 14 wickets in ODI cricket. Marizan's the one where you're going to have to, the judges are going to have to kind of figure out, because Marizan is fourth on the runs list at 183 runs at an average, I think it's of 61. But then she took 6 wickets at an average of 40. So I think it's going to be really tough to pick between those guys, those two ladies, to see who's won, because I think it looks like it's Shabnim. It really does. And I'd be so happy if Shabnim won all 6. That would mean she'd also be winning the categories that some of the men are involved in, like Fans Player of the Year, as well as the KFC Streetwise Award.
And like I said, I'm only mentioning on the show. I'm only mentioning. And I like that Mpho is giving some of the other names, and that's very important. I'm only reading out the ones that got multiple awards at the time, so that you guys can just get a quick summary. And I want you guys to go, obviously, to cricketfanaticsmail.com to go look at the more details. And you'll obviously hear Mpho obviously mention them as well. Mignon Dupree was also a funny one for me with regards to the KFC award, because she also played an excellent knock in that particular game that you're talking about as well. And in that series, she was excellent. I think that she's also another one that I thought missed out maybe on that. But I think she won it last year. So, or she won an award last year as well.
Yes,
so,
she did. I think she won it for her innings against England at the T20 World Cup, where she literally dragged us over the line, which is probably one of the things I've ever watched Mignon play. It was just incredible.
Yeah. So you impressed with the list, Aditya. What is your thought of the women? I think at the moment the women are in a better spaces than the men, and they've actually been more entertaining than the men.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot more to celebrate with women's cricket. I think particularly after that India tour, where they were quite by a country mile the better team, and Shabnim Ismail looks overwhelmingly the favorite to win a lot of these awards. But in saying that, I also want to mention Laura Wolwart, the fastest South African cricketer to get to 2,000 runs this season, and she's just a delight to watch. Outstanding player. But yeah, I guess all the names that Mpho mentioned were solid and deserving candidates.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. I think guys go obviously look at the full list. We don't have much time to obviously talk about every single person on the list. I'm just going to skim through the last few before I say goodbye to you guys. These are some of the other nominees in the domestic cricket circuit. We've obviously got the pitching coach of the season, Wadila Guavu, Imran Khan, both of them doing excellently for the Dolphins and the Lions respectively. We've got the domestic newcomer of the year, Neil Brunt and Lee Fantanzi. Very surprised by Lee Fantanzi. I think that basically there haven't been really many newcomers in the domestic circuit to really pick from when you look at it as a whole in the franchise system. I don't think there's maybe guys that haven't played franchise cricket before, man. There wasn't a lot of major debuts, I feel, in the domestic cricket newcomers scene. So Lee Fantanzi and Neil Brunt, two guys that really stood out maybe this season. I'm a little bit surprised about Leifer, but I love Leifer, so I'm happy that he's on this list. We got the T20 Challenge Cricketer of the Year, Riza Hendricks, Isanda Magala, Keshav Maharaj, Carl Verreina. It's interesting that a guy like maybe Pretorius is not on this list. Maybe a guy like, if I think a little bit closer to what, maybe more spinners I would have liked to see on the list. Because I mean, obviously the spinners really played well. Like someone like, I'm also surprised that maybe, like some more spinners that maybe were on this list. Maybe Zubair Hamza on this list as well. because I mean he was excellent in this T20 challenge this season. It was quite surprising that he's not on this list. So there are a couple of guys that I think missed out over here, but I'll get Mpho and Aditya to the skim through that list. Then we've got the 4-day cricket of the year. We've got Keshav Maharaj, Aiden Markram, Sunil Muthusamy, Kyle Verreynne. I'm surprised that they're actually giving guys, the Proteas guys, opportunities to win these awards. It's quite funny. I would have liked to actually only see domestic cricketers that only play domestic cricket, but they have to obviously give the best guys an opportunity to win these awards. Sunil Muthusamy, of course, on this list. Excellent. But I think George Linder then should be also in this list. I think that is a bit of a snub, I think, in 4-day cricket. Although he did play Test cricket as well, so he would have missed some games as well. So that may be also the reason. But then Aiden Markram again, he's played games. So it's a bit weird, this one, that there are some names omitted over there. With the 1-day cricketer of the season, I'm pretty happy with those selections. I think Lazard Williams also deserves maybe a mention on these lists as well, which I'm a bit curious that he hasn't. And I think Ayak Kamani this year has been excellent. I think he should have maybe also gotten a mention somewhere. Unfortunately, he hasn't. So there are a few guys that I feel maybe small snubs. Aditya, let's start with you.
There are a few snubs in there, but I think I'm going to go with the name that you mentioned there. I think Aiden Markram is a hard one to leave out. I agree with you with the fact that, I guess it should be more of an opportunity for, the domestic uncapped players to have the spotlight there. Then Aiden Markram comes in and has like a 900-run season, and it just makes it too hard to ignore. You can't really not acknowledge that sort of a performance. That was great. Keshav Maharaj as well, outstanding. And from a white ball perspective, I think Robbie Franlick was there. Yariman Malan was there. So, I guess overall expected, but you're right in saying that, Lazard Williams should have been there on that list as well.
Cool.
Look, I think, guys, you got to look at. I'll start at the top. I think the interesting one is how the selectors are going to pick between Wandile Gwavu and Imran Khan, because obviously they won one trophy each and they shared one together. So that's going to be quite interesting. I was shocked, surprised by the Lifantanzi call. He only played 7 games, 7 games this year. Did okay-ish. Neil Bryant's the guy that you need to be looking at. I was trying to figure out who made their debut this year.
It's not a lot.
Tristan Stubbs could have gotten a mention just out of the fact that he did quite well in the CSA T20. I don't know if Othniel Botman had played first class cricket before, because I thought he could have been a very good newcomer award winner. From a T20 challenge, the Sisanda Magala got 13 wickets, guys. The next best people got 10, and that was Tiwekaya Nabe, and then Keshav Maharaj got 6. So I'm sitting there going, it's either between Riza or Sisanda Magala. There's nobody else, and Lazard Williams, I don't think he cracked 10 wickets, and I think that's where the issue is. I think Lungin Giti's up there with 10 wickets as well. If you go back and look at those T20 stats. So for me, it's between the lines pair of Sisanda and Riza in that one. I'm happy Kyle Verreynne's there. I just didn't see in that T20 tournament, because the other thing is you got to look at how well the team played, right? And the Cobras for much of that tournament didn't necessarily move the needle, which is why maybe Ayat Kamani could have been a better call. But from a runs perspective, I think Kyle Verreynne made it in because he's the best. Him and Zubair Hamza were the better guys on a bad team. So that's something that I was like, okay, I'm okay with Kyle. Maybe drop Kyle and maybe put Hamza in, because I know that Khalid wants one of the Cobras to be in there. From a 4-day situation, Aiden Markram scored 945 runs. Why are we talking about this? Give him his trophy. Let him go home. You'll never get. We've only had 2,000 run seasons ever in franchise cricket. One of them was Rassie van der Dussen. Just give it to Aiden. He done an incredible job this season. He was denied playing in the final when he would have probably scored more runs and gotten to that 1,000-run mark. So I think he really does deserve it. Keshav's the number one wicket taker with 34 wickets. I love the Sen run call because Sen took 28 wickets, which is the third highest, and he also scored 310 runs, which is pretty decent for a batsman, for a batting all-rounder. So I was like, okay, I see where they're thinking. And Carl Verena had an average of them all, 680 runs at an average of 97. So if you don't want to give the guy who's gotten close to 1,000 runs, you can give it to the guy whose team lost pretty much all their games, but he averaged 97 runs. So that's up to Mackay and Tini and Go to decide what they're looking for. I was also surprised, for me, the one big snub is Sisanda Magala being snubbed for the Momentum One Day Cup Player award. He took the most wickets at 8 with Imran Manak, and Robbie Fowling took 6. Yes, the Dolphins played less games because of the being rain affected. But from an average perspective, I think Sisanda had a higher average. But look, Robbie took them at an average of 18. So who am I to deny Robbie Fowling an opportunity? I just think Sisanda should have gotten that. And then obviously Dom and Yanaman shared the run scorers list. Yanaman scored 232 wickets at an average of 77, and Dom scored the 232 at an average of 58. Dominic Hendricks is someone South African cricket needs to find a way to fit into one of its structures. He's a really good veteran player, and I think he's someone that the Proteas could use. Well, he's the same age as me, so I can't call him old, because he's probably got about 7 years of cricket left in him if he gets some international cricket. So I think he's someone the Proteas need to be looking at a number 3. He does bat a little bit slowly, but the man really knows how to save his team when the chips are down.
So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Aditya. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Mpho. We'll be obviously having the daily show as continued for the rest of the week. So we are back again. So thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for being so patient. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos as well. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. That's where you'll find the full list of the nominees and all other updates that we've been doing recently. So, guys, it's great to be back. Really missed you guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everyone.